Cuando sienta el desmayar y las fuerzas no me dan, confiaré en ti, te adoraré, en tu nombre yo sé que venceré, te levantaré y veré un nuevo amanecer. Nuevo amanecer.
Yo quiero que usted se siente
I'm going to ask you to take a seat, sit down.
y piense un momento en lo que estamos cantando.
And I'm going to ask you to think for a moment on what we're singing right now.
Esa mañana fue para mí sorpresivo cuando Sebastián y Chamo empezaron a cantar esta canción,
This morning I was actually surprised when they started singing this song,
porque generalmente ellos me preguntan de qué van a predicar,
because they generally ask me about what I'm going to preach.
pero esta mañana aún no sabía de qué iba a enseñar,
But this morning I still didn't know what I was going to talk about,
porque había pensado en otra cosa muy diferente.
because I had thought about something totally different.
Pero cuando me desperté con un pensamiento en mi mente
But when I woke up, I had a thought in my mind,
y algo que me decía, ustedes no son
and something that would tell me, you guys are not,
por la suerte de lo que tocó.
you are not because of what luck gave you.
Yo quiero que usted se diga, yo no soy
I want you to say to yourself, I am not
por la suerte
what luck
de
gave
lo
me.
que tocó. Yo existo
I
por el
exist
amor
by the love
de aquel que me creó.
of Him who created me.
Si tú entiendes
If you understand
esa frase,
that phrase,
tú vas a entender
you will understand
el valor que tiene tu vida.
the value that your life has.
Tú vas a entender que desde el vientre de la madre,
You will understand that from the womb of your mom,
tú fuiste formado.
you were formed.
Dios te puso ahí.
The Lord put you there, placed you there,
Hizo que su sangre
and He made His blood
corriera por tus venas.
to run through your veins.
Él te hizo nacer en su familia
He made you be born in His family
antes de que tú supieras que eras parte de la familia de Dios.
before you even knew that you were a part of God's family.
Pero nosotros generalmente creemos que nosotros, Isaías 55:8 dice,
Isaiah 55:8 says,
porque los caminos que lo pusieron, mis pensamientos son más altos. ¿Qué me lo hizo mi amigo? Mis pensamientos, pues así como los cielos están más altos que la tierra, así son mis caminos más altos que los caminos, y mis pensamientos son más altos que los tuyos.
so it says, for just as the heavens are higher than the earth, so my ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts are higher than your thoughts.
Generalmente cuando nosotros pensamos algo acerca de nosotros mismos,
Usually when we think something about ourselves,
a menos que nosotros tengamos un ego muy alto,
unless we have a really high ego,
ninguno nos vemos de la manera en la que Dios nos ve.
neither of us really see ourselves the way that God sees us.
O con el ego alto que tenemos,
We either see ourselves with the high ego we have,
pisoteamos a los demás.
or maybe with the high ego we have, we actually step on somebody else.
Entonces nosotros no tenemos que aprender a vernos ni como usted cree que usted es,
So we're not supposed to, we're supposed to,
como usted supone que es. Usted tiene que aprender a verse no como usted se supone o usted se ve,
you have to learn to see yourself not the way that you think you're supposed to see yourself,
o lo pobre que usted piensa acerca de usted mismo,
or because you feel that you have such a poor opinion of yourself,
o con un ego tan alto
or with such a high image or ego
que no puedas ver realmente quién eres.
that you're not able to see who you really are.
Dios nos enseña en su palabra quiénes somos nosotros,
The Lord teaches us in His Word who we are,
para qué existimos,
why we exist,
cuál fue la razón por la que Él nos creó.
what was the reason we were made for.
Y si nosotros entendiésemos la responsabilidad tan grande del amor cuando Dios te puso en el vientre de tu madre,
If we would understand the great responsibility that God gave when He placed you in your mom's womb,
cuando puso tus hijos en el vientre tuyo,
when He placed your children in your womb,
nosotros pensaríamos,
we would think,
actuaríamos
we would act
de una manera totalmente diferente.
in a very different way, in a very different manner.
Seríamos como Él ha decidido que nosotros fuéramos.
We would actually be the way that He has decided for us to be.
Muchos de nosotros nos
Ve-
llamamos cristianos,
Many of us call ourselves Christians,
pero yo creo que nosotros no tenemos el significado en nuestra mente, o nuestra mente no alcanza a comprender el significado de lo que es ser cristiano.
but I think our minds are not able to truly grasp and understand the meaning of what it is to be called a Christian or be a Christian.
El significado de haber nacido dentro de la familia de Dios.
The meaning of what it is to be born in God's family.
Y estaba pensando esa mañana que cuando yo era pequeña,
And this morning I was thinking that when I was a little girl,
yo nunca escuché acerca de los cristianos.
I never heard about Christians.
Yo no sabía que había un grupo de gente al que se le llamaba cristiano.
I didn't know that there would be a group of people that named themselves or called themselves Christian.
Y me impresiona ahora mismo que a veces leo libros donde hablan de pastores y dicen en 1972.
And it amazes me now when I read books and it says pastors say in 1972
Pasó tal milagro en tal lugar, una convención y fueron miles de personas y vieron milagros, sanidades.
so the pastors would say in that book, in 1972 there would be a convention and miracles happened and thousands of people were there.
Y yo me pongo a pensar y yo nunca en mi vida había escuchado de esto antes,
And I think, oh, I had never heard of this before,
pero ahí estaba,
but it was there.
aunque yo no lo supiera.
Although I didn't know about it, it was still happening.
Con el pasar de los años no fui cristiana,
As years went by, I was never a Christian,
pero de un momento a otro mi mamá se volvió cristiana.
but all of a sudden my mom became a Christian.
Y entonces mi mamá empezó, en ese momento para nosotros que actuaba raro.
So at that moment to us, she was acting really weird.
Y entonces tú qué dices, mi mamá se enloqueció.
So we used to say, my mom is crazy now. She went crazy.
Y todos nosotros decíamos, mi mamá se enloqueció.
And we would always say that, my mom's going crazy.
Se volvió evangélica,
She is becoming an evangelic.
porque en nuestra ignorancia ni siquiera sabíamos que era ser evangélico.
Because in our ignorance, we didn't even know what it meant to be an evangelic.
Pero se volvió evangélica lo peor que le pasó en la vida.
But we used to think that was the worst thing that happened to her.
En ese momento yo vivía con mi mamá,
At that moment, I was living with my mom.
ya era casada y tenía hijos.
I was married already, had children.
Y yo usaba, por ejemplo, celebrar el Halloween.
And I used to celebrate, let's say, Halloween.
Y yo ponía en mi casa calaveras,
So I would put skulls and decorating my house.
espantapájaros. Espantapájaros.
Scarecrows.
Sorry.
Y mi mamá, calabazas,
Skulls and the pumpkins.
eran muy bonitas.
And they were very pretty.
Pero mi mamá había conocido al Señor,
But my mom she had become a Christian. She knew the Lord.
se había enloquecido,
And we thought that she had gone crazy.
eran cosas muy bonitas de decoración.
And we used to think, but these are very beautiful decorations that we're
Y
using.
yo las encontraba en la basura.
And then I would find them in the garbage.
Ahí ese concepto de que mi mamá estaba loca era aún más.
So when that
Afirmado.
happened, the concept that I had of my mom going crazy was even stronger.
Con el tiempo,
With time,
el cristianismo se volvió una moda. Ser cristiano era una moda.
being a Christian became like a thing to do, like a fashion thing to do, like the normal thing
Ser
to do.
cristiano era como ir al club, como ir a los clubs.
Being a Christian was like going to a club.
Y tú veías a la gente, ¿para dónde vas?
And you would ask people, where are you going?
No, vamos a la iglesia.
No, we're going to church.
No, vamos a ir con un grupo de amigos no sé, a hacer cualquier cosa.
No, we're going with our church group to do something.
Y fue una temporada en mi vida, yo ya era cristiana,
And it was a time in my life,
en que en las iglesias donde yo asistí,
even when I was a Christian already, that at the churches that I went to,
mucha gente famosa se convirtió al Señor.
Many famous people even came to Christ.
cantantes, actrices, actores.
Actors, singers.
Ser cristiano estaba de moda,
Being a Christian was like the thing to do.
pero eso también empezó a pasar.
But that started going by as well.
Y si nosotros nos pusiéramos a pensar
And if we stop to think for a moment,
en ese momento que es ser cristianos,
at this right now, what does it mean to be a Christian?
ustedes me dejarían mentir. Ustedes me dejarían mentir.
You would let me lie
Si yo les dijera que la gente piensa que los cristianos somos una plaga,
if I told you that people think that Christians like a plague.
¿es verdad o es mentira?
Is it true or not?
Eso es lo que la gente piensa de los cristianos.
That's what most people think about Christians.
Pero la gente piensa eso de los cristianos porque saben realmente qué es ser cristiano,
But do people think that about Christians because they really know what it means to be a Christian?
porque nos han conocido a alguno de nosotros,
Or is it because they've met some of us,
la forma en la que nos comportamos,
the way that we behave,
la forma en la que hacemos negocios,
the way that we do business,
la forma en la que tratamos a nuestra familia,
the way that we treat our family,
en que criamos a nuestros hijos?
and the way that we raise our children?
Porque la gente tendrá un mal concepto acerca de los cristianos.
Why is it that people have such a bad concept of what it is to be a Christian?
¿O por qué la gente nos mirará ahora como una plaga?
Or why is it that people now look at us as a plague?
No les voy a decir que alcen la mano, pero ¿a cuántos de acá les da pena decir que son cristianos?
I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand, but how many of you here are embarrassed to call yourselves a Christian?
La mayoría de la gente no dice que es cristiana.
Many people do not share that they're Christians.
Porque cuando tú conoces a alguna persona
But when you actually know a person
y la gente medio se da cuenta que tú eres cristiano,
and people kind of realize that you're a Christian,
ah, ¿eres cristiano?
right away, oh my gosh, you're a Christian? Hmm.
Y te empiezan a mirar con sospecha.
And then they start looking at you kind of suspecting a little bit.
¿Es verdad o es mentira?
Is it true or is it a lie?
Y si eres pastor, no te digo cuánto aumenta la sospecha.
And I'm not even going to tell you how much more it is if you say that you're a pastor.
Pero, ¿por qué la gente piensa así de nosotros?
But why is it that people have this concept of us?
¿Por qué la gente no le gustan los cristianos?
Why is it that people don't like Christians?
Porque la gente no quiere estar al lado de los cristianos.
Why is it that people don't want to be next to a Christian person?
Porque la gente tiene miedo a hacer negocios con cristianos.
Why is it that people are kind of afraid of doing business with a Christian person?
Porque la gente tiene temor a venir a una iglesia.
Why is it that people are afraid of coming to a church?
Nosotros nos hemos puesto a pensar eso.
Have we actually taken the time to think about this?
A mí me gustaría que usted hiciera un ejercicio el día de hoy. Vamos a hacer una reflexión.
I'm going to ask you to do an exercise today. We're going to have a reflection.
Y que usted pudiera pensar
And I'm going to ask you to think
cómo sería una persona,
how it would be for,
cómo sería una persona, cómo luciría, cómo debería comportarse
how would a person look or behave
o lucir
or look,
una persona
a person.
que tú sientas que puede ser de influencia para tu vida.
How would a person that would be of influence in your life would look or behave? Take a moment to think about this.
Una persona que tú sientas o tú digas, esa persona es una persona de admirar.
A person that you would feel or think, okay, that person is worthy to be admired,
A mí me gustaría ser como esa persona.
is worthy of admiration. I would like to be like that person.
Yo quiero que en ese momento usted cierre sus ojos y se haga una imagen
So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes right now and make an image in your mind,
mental de cuál sería ese tipo de persona
of who that person would be.
que usted podría admirar, que la pudiera influenciar
That person that you would admire, that would influence you,
y que usted la pudiera seguir.
and that you would be able to follow them.
Y me gustaría que en un papel usted escriba las características que usted cree que esa persona debería tener.
And I'm going to ask you to take a piece of paper and write down the characteristics that you, or the traits that you think that person should have.
Hágalo rápidamente, la mayoría de la gente yo sé que trae agenda, lápiz.
I know that most of you bring paper and pen to write to take notes with, so I'm going to ask you to do that. You guys want to do it on your phone, you can do so as well. Los que lo quieran hacer en el teléfono también pueden hacerlo.
¿Cuántas cualidades y cuántas características debería tener esa persona
What qualities and what traits should this person have
para poder influenciar,
to be able to have influence,
para poder que usted la admire,
to be admired by you,
que usted quiera trabajar con ella,
and for you to want to be
que usted quiera estar al lado de ella?
for you to want to be next to that person, for you to want to work with this person? What does it take?
Ya hicimos el ejercicio mental, los veo muy pensativos y a otros.
Did we do the exercise?
Ya hemos escrito algunas.
Have we written some traits?
Ahora yo quiero que usted lea esa lista
So I'm going to ask you to take a look at that list
y me diga cuántas de esas usted tiene.
and tell me how many of those things that you wrote down you have.
¿Hicimos el ejercicio?
Did we do the exercise?
¿Fácil? Completamos el 100%, me imagino.
Did we complete 100% of it?
¿Quién tiene 10 de las 10?
Who has 10 of those 10?
9 de las 10,
9 of those
8 de
10?
las 10, 7 de las 10.
8, 7?
¿Quién de acá es cristiano?
Who here is a Christian?
¿Solo 2? Entonces, ¿por qué no tenemos esas características que estamos buscando en alguien?
So why is it that we don't have those same characteristics or traits that we're looking on those for in those people?
¿Por qué ponemos en la gente las ilusiones
Why is it that we place expectations or illusions
de ser alguien que tú ni siquiera has podido ser?
of being someone that you have not been able to be yourself?
¿Nos hemos hecho esa pregunta alguna vez?
Have we asked ourselves that question?
Yo les dije que era un tiempo de reflexión, ¿no?
I told you that we're going to have some reflection time.
Yo sé que usted está esperando que yo lo regañe, pero no, lo estoy llevando a reflexionar.
Maybe some of you are waiting for me to scold you a little bit, but no, I just want to take you to reflect on this.
Si nosotros somos cristianos
If we are Christians
y queremos hacer una diferencia en la tierra,
and we want to make a difference on earth,
no en la tierra, digamos en la nación, no en la tierra, digamos en la nación,
let's say not even on earth, let's talk about just making a difference here in this nation.
no en la nación, digamos en el país,
Okay, let's not say in the nation, but in the country.
no en el país, digamos en la ciudad,
Okay, let's not say to make a difference in the country, but in the city.
no en la ciudad, digamos en el barrio,
Or not in the city, but in our neighborhood,
en mi casa.
in our home.
Porque si yo hago la diferencia en mi casa y soy aquello que el Señor dice que debo ser,
Because if I make a difference in my home and I do what the Lord says that I should do,
y cada uno de nosotros hace lo que debe hacer,
and each and every one of us does what we're supposed to do,
seríamos una plaga.
would we be a plague?
La gente nos miraría como una plaga.
Would people see us as a plague?
¿Sí o no?
Yes?
¿De quién es la responsabilidad que la gente no nos mire como nos debe ver?
So whose responsibility is it that we are not seen the way that we're supposed to be seen?
Nosotros generalmente vamos a una iglesia
We generally go to a church
o en el trabajo
or at work,
y nosotros creemos que las corporaciones
and we think that the corporations
son las responsables de mi manera de actuar.
are the ones that are responsible of my behavior.
Y esa mañana Dios me llevaba a entender no es una responsabilidad corporativa,
And the Lord brought me to an understanding this morning that it is not a corporate responsibility.
es una responsabilidad individual.
It's an individual responsibility.
¿Cómo tú te comportas?
How do you behave?
¿Qué clase de cristiano eres?
What type of Christian are you? Or what it is your responsibility how you behave and the type of Christian that you are.
Porque lo que tú no te das cuenta
Because what you don't realize
es que tú eres representante de la corporación.
is that you are a representative of that corporation.
Y como la gente te ve afuera
And the way that the people see you on the outside
y según tu comportamiento,
and your behavior,
la gente va a mirar a la corporación.
then people are going to look at that corporation based on your behavior.
¿Es responsable de la corporación
Is the corporation responsible?
o es responsable de la persona que está dentro de la corporación?
Or is it the responsibility of the person representing that corporation?
Ustedes no se dan cuenta que nosotros le ponemos mucha, ahorita cuando ya pues decía, lo que ella va a predicar es lo que ella vive. Yo dije, es mucha presión para mí. Lo que ella va a predicar es lo que ella vive.
So JP was saying what she's going to preach is what she lives.
Digo, es mucha presión,
And I think, oh, that's a lot of pressure on me right now.
porque ¿quién podría decir que es perfecto delante de Dios
Because who could say that they're perfect before
o
the
que no
Lord
se equivoca?
or that you don't make a mistake?
Pero ustedes se están dando cuenta la responsabilidad que nosotros tenemos.
But are you actually grasping the idea of the responsibility that we have?
Si nosotros tomáramos con seriedad el ser cristianos,
If we took the fact of being a Christian in a serious manner,
todo sería diferente.
everything would be different.
No solamente en nuestros hogares,
Not just our homes,
sino alrededor de todo lugar donde nosotros estemos.
but every place that we're a part of and that we're surrounded by.
Ayer estábamos hablando con algunas mujeres
Yesterday we were talking to some women
que pareciera que cuando yo hago una declaración de fe,
that it seemed like when you do a faith declaration,
cuando yo digo yo soy cristiano,
that when you say, I am a Christian,
me convertí al Señor,
I turn to the Lord,
en el cielo hay fiesta,
there's a party in heaven.
usted está vacunado
It's like you're tagged,
o usted acaba de comprar un seguro
or like you just bought an insurance
para hacer lo que usted quiere,
to do whatever you want,
vivir como quiere,
to live however you want,
y el Señor me va a cuidar.
and the Lord is going to take care of me.
¿Sí o no?
Yes or no?
Es la forma en la que vivimos.
That is the way that we live many times.
Porque decimos, ahora me volví cristiano,
Because we say, oh, I'm a Christian now,
entonces me metí debajo del seguro,
so I am under this insurance.
me puse la vacuna,
I vaccine myself. I got a vaccine for it.
entonces digo, me salí del mundo, me metí debajo de la cobertura de Dios,
So I say, I left the world and now I am under God's covering.
pero ¿qué cambió de aquí a aquí?
But what changed from here to here?
¿Cuántos de nosotros podríamos decir que desde el momento en que aceptamos a Jesús hasta el momento de hoy, hasta el día de hoy, no sé cuántos años llevas de cristiano,
How many of us can say that from the moment that you accepted Christ in your heart until today, I don't know how many years you've been a Christian for,
podríamos decir que nuestra vida ha cambiado sustancialmente?
how many of us can actually say that our lives have actually changed substantially?
O si nos miráramos hoy mismo, hoy en ese momento,
Or if we asked ourselves today,
muchos diríamos que no nos ha valido la pena ser cristianos.
many of us could even say that it's not worth it to be a Christian.
Y estamos tratando de buscar un culpable.
And we're trying to find somebody to blame.
¿De quién es la culpa?
Whose fault is it?
Para los padres es de los hijos, para los hijos es de los padres,
For the parents is the
para el
children's,
empleado es de la compañía,
for the
para la
children is
compañía
the
es del
parents,
empleado.
for the company would be the employee, for the employee would be the company or the employer.
¿Sí o no?
Yes or no?
Y cuando nosotros vamos a tomar en serio nuestra responsabilidad y la responsabilidad de haber sido puestos en el vientre de la madre, haber nacido en la familia de Dios, entender que su sangre corre por mis venas.
And how many of us are actually going to take that responsibility? The responsibility of knowing that you were placed in that mother's womb and that God's blood runs through your veins.
y vamos a dejar de echarle la responsabilidad a
Yeah.
otros.
How many of us are actually going to stop giving that responsibility to other people and take it as your own?
Vamos a tomar conciencia de cuando lleguemos a un lugar,
How many of us are going to take that knowledge and conscience that when we go into a place,
la gente no diga, cristianos, uy,
people
al
wouldn't
jueguito.
say, oh, Christians, okay.
¿Nos pasa?
Does it happen to us?
Mucha gente no quiere estar al lado de los cristianos.
Many people don't want to be next to a Christian person.
Mucha gente no quiere ir a un lugar donde va la gente cristiana.
Many people don't want to go to a place where there are other Christians.
Y tú te sientes feliz en tu iglesia porque terminas acomodándote, ay, peleamos, hoy nos contentamos, mañana somos una familia, ¿cierto?
And maybe you feel happy at your church because, yeah, maybe you have like a difference or you fight, but then we're good again and then we just get comfortable because we are a family, right?
Y nos acostumbramos, en Colombia ustedes han escuchado, en la familia está la tía chismosa, el tío drogadicto, sí, nosotros vivimos así.
And we get used to something, and even in Colombia, people say, okay, you know, every family has the
Y
aunt
nosotros
that likes
estamos
to gossip.
acostumbrados a vivir así, ¿sí o no? En nuestras familias vivimos de esa manera.
So we say, okay, there's the aunt that likes to gossip, there's the uncle that's a drug addict, and we get used to this way of thinking, and we think that it's the same way here at church, to live that way.
¿Qué diferencia hay en vivir afuera?
What difference is there between my life here and my life on the outside?
No es responsabilidad de la corporación,
It is not the responsibility of the corporation or the corporate responsibility.
es responsabilidad individual.
It is an individual responsibility.
Hay un versículo que Dios me hablaba esta mañana
There's a verse that the Lord gave me this morning,
y es un versículo que todos nosotros conocemos.
and it's a verse that we all know.
Es más, esta mañana lo cantamos
In fact, we sung about it this morning,
y es Mateo 5:13.
and it's Matthew 5:13.
¿Qué dice?
What does it say?
Ustedes son la sal de la tierra, pero ¿para qué sirve la sal si ha perdido su sabor? Pueden lograr que vuelva a ser salada. La descartarán y la pisotearán como algo que no tiene valor. Ustedes son la luz del mundo. ¿Cómo una ciudad en lo alto de una colina puede esconderse? No puede esconderse. ¿Quién se ha puesto a pensar? A nosotros nos han hablado mucho de ustedes son la sal del mundo, la luz de la tierra, y usted se lo sabe, y usted lo puede recitar. Hasta usted hace canciones acerca de esto.
So Matthew 5:13 says, "You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world." And so how many of us know this? We sing about it. We even make songs about this. It's something that we all know as Christians.
¿Usted ha pensado verdaderamente? Miremos la parte de ser la luz.
So let's look at the part where it says, "You are the light of the world."
¿Usted ha pensado lo que significa un bombillo en su casa, en cualquier lugar?
Have you ever thought of what it means to have a bulb, like at your house or anywhere?
¿Usted se ha imaginado la vida vivir sin luz?
Have you imagined what it would be like to live without light?
¿A quién le gustaría vivir sin luz?
Who would like to live without light?
A ninguno.
No one?
A ninguno nos gustaría vivir sin luz.
No one would like to live without light.
Porque si vivimos sin luz, nos golpeamos, no sabemos por dónde ir, nos vamos a tropezar. ¿Es
Because
verdad o no?
if we live without light, we don't know where we're going. We can get hurt. We even stumble.
¿A quién le gustaría ser ciego?
Who would like to be blind? No one.
Y entonces si nosotros somos la luz, ¿cuál es la responsabilidad que nos compete?
So if we are the light of the world, what's the responsibility that we have?
Imagínense que donde hay mucha oscuridad,
Imagine that. So where there's lots of darkness,
así haya un mínimo destello de luz,
if there is a little bit ray of light,
usted ya ve, ¿sí o no?
you can see, right? Even in the darkest places.
Entonces, podríamos comparar eso con nuestra vida el día de hoy.
Would we be able to compare that to our lives today?
¿Eres tú de esas personas
Are you one of those people,
o somos todos de esas
or
personas?
are we
Me incluyo.
those people
Que donde llegamos si hay oscuridad,
that when we go and we step into this place, if there is darkness,
Cuando nuestra presencia llega,
when our presence, when our being is there,
la luz alumbra,
light is shining.
hay un destello de luz.
Is there a ray of light with our presence?
Que donde nos pongan,
That wherever we are,
vamos a traer claridad,
we're going to bring clarity.
estamos haciendo una reflexión, ¿no?
We're just having a reflection right now.
Y si fuéramos a que somos la sal del mundo,
If we talk about the fact that we're supposed to be the salt of the world,
¿qué hace la sal? Cambiar el sabor.
what does salt do? It changes the flavor.
Podemos pensar, somos nosotros de esas personas
So now let's think about this. Are we those people
que a donde llegamos le cambiamos el sabor a la vida de la gente,
that everywhere we go, we change the flavor of people's lives?
pero no le cambias el sabor porque eres muy chistoso?
Uh,
No le cambias el sabor porque eres muy chistoso,
you don't change someone's flavor because you're funny,
porque eres el payaso de la fiesta,
because you're the party's clown,
sino porque donde no había esperanza, pudiste traer esperanza.
but because where there was no hope, you were able to bring that hope.
Porque donde no había luz, tuviste la capacidad de traer. De donde no había vida, tuviste la capacidad de traer vida.
That there was no life, you were able to bring that life.
Donde había decepción, tristeza, falta de confianza,
Where people were just deceived and sad and they lacked that confidence and they were not able to trust.
rabia, celos, envidia.
Where envy was there, jealousy and anger.
Tú pudiste ayudar a la gente a que pensara de una manera diferente.
You were able to lead people to think differently.
Pudiste llevar a esas personas a que entendieran el valor del perdón.
You were able to take people to really realize the value that forgiveness has.
Somos de esas personas que donde llegamos las cosas cambian.
Are we those people that everywhere we go, things change?
Nosotros no necesitaríamos mirarnos a la luz de más versículos.
We don't really even need to look at the light of many more verses.
Con ese tenemos para poder, somos la sal y la luz del mundo.
Just with this verse, we're able to really have a big reflection of asking ourselves, are we the light and the salt of the world?
Solamente con ese versículo,
Just that one verse,
mirando nuestra vida
looking into our lives
y reflexionando en nuestro proceder,
and reflecting on our behavior and how we act,
tenemos para estar pensando.
we have lots to be thinking about.
Nosotros no somos por la suerte de lo que tocó.
We are not just what chance or what luck gave us.
Nosotros somos por el amor de aquel que nos creó.
We are by the love of He who created us.
Los cristianos no deberíamos ser considerados una plaga.
Christians should not be seen or considered as a plague.
Sería maravilloso que cuando yo digo que soy cristiano,
Wouldn't it be wonderful that when I say that I'm a Christian,
las puertas se abrieran,
the doors would open,
la gente me quisiera tener en su casa,
that people would want to have me in their homes,
la gente quisiera hospedarme,
that people would want to host me
sentarme en su mesa,
and sit me at their table,
hablar conmigo.
speak to me.
Eso sería muy importante.
That would be very important.
Y que usted en cada momento de su vida
And that every moment of your life,
fuera muy intencional,
you would be very intentional,
no en decir un montonón de palabras que no vive,
not in speaking about all these words and these things that you're not living,
sino que su vida,
but that your life,
su forma, la forma en la que se comporta,
the way that you behave,
la forma en la que mira a los demás
the way that you look at other people,
y el amor que le da a la gente,
and the love that you give to people
cambiará los lugares donde usted llega.
would change every place that you go to.
Ser hijos de Dios
Being God's children
no es tener una vacuna,
is not just having a vaccine.
no es tener un seguro para hacer lo que queremos.
It's not having an insurance to do whatever we want.
Ser hijos de Dios es una responsabilidad muy alta.
Being God's children is a very big responsibility.
Es un honor que no muchas personas tienen.
It's an honor that not many people have.
No todo el mundo es cristiano.
Not everyone is a Christian.
No todo el mundo ha tenido la oportunidad de conocer al Señor.
Not everyone has had the opportunity to know God.
¿Tú no te has puesto a pensar todo lo que Dios hizo para que tú lo conocieras?
Have you ever taken the time to think about everything that God did for you to get to know Him?
Hay muchos afuera con la mente entenebrecida.
There's many people outside with their minds in darkness.
Que no tienen la posibilidad ni siquiera
They don't even have the possibility
de ir a una iglesia,
of going to a church,
de hacer una oración.
of doing a prayer.
No les interesa.
They don't even want to.
Sus mentes están tan nubladas
Their minds are they're so clouded
que no pueden ni siquiera pensar claramente.
that they can't even think clearly.
Tú no estás aquí por suerte.
You're not here by chance.
Tú estás aquí porque Dios te escogió.
You're here because the Lord chose you,
Porque Él quiere hacer algo contigo.
because He wants to do something with you,
Porque Él quiere que marques una diferencia.
because He wants you to make a difference.
Y no solamente una diferencia dentro de la iglesia.
And not just a difference inside the church,
Porque ser cristiano dentro de la iglesia es lo más fácil del mundo.
because being a Christian inside the church is the easiest thing.
Todos somos hermanitos y todos nos sabemos versículos.
We're all brothers and sisters and we know verses from the Bible.
¿Sí o no?
Yes or no?
Es lo más fácil del mundo.
That's the easiest part.
Estamos rodeados de la gente que amamos.
We're just surrounded by the people that we love.
Algunos nos caen un poquito gordos, pero generalmente amamos a todo el mundo.
Some people are a little bit chubby, but we still love everyone.
Es la verdad.
That's not the truth.
Pero generalmente nos amamos entre todos.
But we love each other.
Hablamos el mismo idioma.
We speak the same language.
Sabemos los mismos chismes.
We know the same gossip.
Somos invitados a las mismas bodas.
We're
Aunque el
invited
chamo
to
no
the
nos haya
same
invitado,
wedding.
pero bueno.
David did not invite us to the wedding.
Conocemos las mismas actividades.
We know the same activities.
Vamos al mismo sancocho.
We go to the same sancocho,
¿Sí o no?
right?
Cuando llega una persona de afuera y nos escucha hablando,
When a person from the outside comes and they hear us speak,
se siente como,
they feel like,
porque se siente extraño.
because they feel weird, they feel strange,
¿Sí o no?
right?
¿Cuántos de nosotros dejamos la comodidad de hacer visita y volteamos y miramos al que acaba de llegar?
How many of us actually leave that comfort zone of talking to the people we know, and we actually turn to say hi to the person that just came?
Y le ponemos atención a aquel que está llegando por primera vez a la iglesia.
And we pay attention to that one that is here for the first time.
¿Usted se imagina cuánto esfuerzo tuvo que hacer Dios
Can you imagine the effort that God had to do
en el corazón de una persona,
in the heart of a person,
en la mente de una
in
persona,
their minds,
para que se le quitara la pena,
for them to lose that
la
fear or
vergüenza de decir que era cristiano,
that embarrassment of saying they're Christian?
invitar a una persona
To invite a person
a la iglesia
to church
y decirle que su iglesia es lo mejor del mundo
and tell them that their church is the best thing
y que la
ever
gente de su iglesia es lo mejor.
and the people at the church are amazing.
Yo pensaba esa mañana que hay algún lugar que usted quiera conocer, generalmente sí, ¿cierto?
This morning I was thinking there's usually a place that you want to know, right?
Y si usted pensaba en ese momento, en ese lugar que usted quiere conocer,
And if you think about that place that you want to know,
usted es igual, usted sería una imagen mental del lugar que usted quiere conocer.
so when you think of that place that you want to know, you usually have a mental image.
¿Cómo será?
How would it be?
¿De qué color serán las casas?
How what colors would the
Estamos
houses
hablando de un
be?
país, ¿cómo será su gente, su cultura,
How would
la
people be?
vestimenta? ¿Sí o no?
Their culture. You're trying to imagine all of this.
¿Cuántas personas han tenido la oportunidad de hacer realidad sus sueños y cuando llegaron se pegaron una decepción?
How many people have had the opportunity to, really make those dreams come true, and then when they get there, they're just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. This is not what I expected.
¿Ninguno?
Has it happened to you?
Generalmente nosotros nos decepcionamos.
We're usually disappointed.
Ayer estábamos hablando con alguien y me decía, cuando a mí me hablaron de una persona,
So I was talking to someone yesterday, and they were telling me when I was talking about this person, or when I heard about this person,
que era cristiana y cómo era,
and they would tell me about how this person would be. She's a Christian or he's
Yo
a
dije, yo
Christian.
quiero conocer a esa persona.
I was saying, wow, I want to get to know this
Y me
person.
hice expectativas acerca de esa
And I had
persona.
these expectations about the person.
Y cuando la conocí,
And when I actually got to meet the person,
yo dije, oh my God, esa es la persona de la que me hablaron.
I was like, wow, is this the person they were talking to me about?
Qué mal está.
She's bad, or he's like, no.
¿A ustedes no les parece eso muy triste?
Isn't that very sad?
¿Cuánta gente, amigos de nosotros, conocidos, familiares de nosotros,
How many people, it could be our friends or family,
te voy a presentar a alguien
and we say, oh, I'm going to introduce you to someone.
y le hacen una expectativa a la otra persona?
And they have this expectation of meeting that person.
¿Será que cuando la gente nos ve se decepciona
Could it be that when people see us, they're actually disappointed?
o queda aún más interesada por conocernos?
Or do they actually want to meet us more?
Sería una pregunta que nos deberíamos hacer.
That's a question we should ask ourselves right now.
Si tú te dices a ti mismo, yo no soy por la suerte de lo que tocó,
If you say to yourself, I am not here, or I'm not by the chance that I got, or the luck that I received,
antes siquiera que tú lo supieras, naciste en la familia de Dios.
but actually before you knew it, you were born in God's family.
Pero así como cuando llegas a un lugar tienes responsabilidades y deberes,
But just when you go into a place and you have things that you must do and you have those responsibilities,
convertirte en un hijo de Dios tienes responsabilidades y deberes.
to become a child of God has its responsibilities and tasks.
La responsabilidad de las corporaciones,
The responsibilities of corporations,
aunque no suene bien, es educar a su gente.
even though it's not good, it is to educate their people.
Es hablarle a su gente de los pros, los contras,
Even though it doesn't sound good, not that it's not good. It's to talk to them about the pros and the cons,
el comportamiento que se espera.
the behavior that is expected of these people.
Yo me acuerdo de cuando yo iba a la escuela y me leían el reglamento, si no me portaba de esa manera me suspendían.
I remember that when I went to school, they would read to me the rules of that school, and if I was not behaving that way, then I would be expelled.
Aquí no podemos suspender a nadie porque,
We cannot suspend
Complicado.
people here because there is a big problem if it happens.
pero ¿cuántos de nosotros nos hubiéramos ganado ya una suspensión?
But how many people would actually be suspended if that were not the case?
Ser cristiano es más que decir que hay fiesta en el cielo porque me convertí cristiano.
Being a Christian is way more than saying there's party in heaven because I became a Christian.
Es una responsabilidad demasiado grande.
It's a responsibility that's really big.
Cuando tú vas con el letrero por delante diciendo que eres cristiano,
When you go and you have the tag before you saying that you're a Christian,
la gente te está mirando,
people are actually watching you.
la gente te está analizando
People are analyzing you.
y la gente te va a empezar a juzgar.
And people are going to start judging you or measuring you up
De acuerdo a lo que tú hablas,
according to what you do,
de acuerdo a cómo te comportas.
according to how you behave.
Ustedes han escuchado que hay personas que dicen, esa persona habla muy lindo, pero
Have you heard people saying, that person speaks really nicely, but
cuando se comporta no tiene nada que ver con todo lo que dice?
the way that he or she behaves has nothing to do with what they talk about.
Es nuestra responsabilidad,
It is our responsibility,
no con una congregación,
not with a congregation,
no con unos pastores,
not with pastors,
delante de Dios,
but before the Lord,
que nos comportemos como hijos,
for us to behave as his children,
que dejemos de pensar que tenemos una vacuna contra el pecado,
and to stop thinking that we have a vaccine against sin,
un seguro contra accidentes
an insurance that will cover us from accidents,
y hacer lo que nos da la gana.
and to do whatever we want.
Y simplemente vamos a recibir amor, gracia y misericordia porque en eso andamos.
And that we simply are, regardless of what we do, that we simply are going to receive love, mercy, and compassion because that's what we think it is.
Y eso le decimos a la gente cuando la gente se equivoca.
And that's what we tell people when they make a mistake.
No te preocupes,
Don't worry,
Dios te perdona,
the Lord will forgive you.
Dios te ama.
The Lord loves
Es
you.
un Dios de segundas oportunidades.
He's a God of a second
Su
chance.
amor, su gracia, su misericordia te
His
perdona
love,
todos los días.
His love, His grace, His mercy is going to forgive you every day.
Pero hay algo en la Biblia que se llama la justicia de Dios.
But there is something on the Bible that's called the justice of God.
Y un día todos nosotros,
And one day, all of us,
por decir que nos llamamos cristianos,
because we say that we are Christians,
la Biblia dice que vamos a ir delante del trono blanco.
the Bible says that we're going to go before the throne.
y que vamos a tener que dar cuentas de cada cosa que hicimos.
And we're going to have to come into account with everything that we did.
Vamos a tener que entregar todos los muertos que traemos,
We're going to have to give all the dead people we have behind us
las cosas que hemos hecho.
and the things that we have done.
¿Será que seremos declarados inocentes?
Would it be that we would be declared as innocent?
¿Será que Dios nos va a decir, siervo bueno, siervo fiel?
Would God say to us, good servant, faithful
No te
servant?
mereces una corona.
You don't deserve a crown.
No, lo has hecho muy bien.
No, you've done it really well.
O sea que nos va a decir,
Or would he say,
apártense de mí, hacedores de maldad.
depart from me, evildoers?
Esa es la realidad de lo que es el cristianismo.
That's the reality of what it means to be a Christian.
No la fantasía que nosotros nos hemos querido creer en nuestra mente.
Not the fantasy that we have wanted to create in our minds, that we believed even.
Tenemos una responsabilidad.
We have a responsibility.
Cuando tú cumples esas responsabilidades,
When you take those responsibilities,
ahí es donde encuentras la promoción a hacer otras cosas
that's when you find promotion to do other things
que Dios te ha llamado a hacer.
that the Lord has called you to do.
Pero tú no puedes pretender ser promocionado
But you cannot pretend to be promoted
cuando no puedes cumplir las responsabilidades mínimas.
when you even haven't started to fulfill the responsibilities you have right now.
Es un buen tiempo para que reflexionemos
It's a good time to reflect on this.
en cualquier ámbito que nosotros nos movamos.
Whatever sphere we move in,
Negocios, artes, educación, deportes.
business, arts, education, sports.
¿Cómo nos ve la gente?
How do people see us?
Religión. ¿Cómo nos ve la gente?
How do people see us?
¿Qué piensa la gente acerca de nosotros?
What do people think about us?
O sea que Dios nos está mirando y está aplaudiendo nuestro proceder.
Could it be that the Lord is actually looking at us and praising the way that we behave?
¿Será que está diciendo, oh, qué maravilloso es ver a mi hijo, a mi hija?
Could it be that He's saying how wonderful it is to see my daughter or my son?
¿Será que nosotros valoramos el haber sido puestos en el vientre de nuestra madre?
Do we actually value the fact that we were placed in our mother's womb?
Cuando yo tenía 16 años, yo quedé embarazada de Denis.
When I was 16 years old, I got pregnant with Dennis.
Y gran parte de mi familia me dijo que lo abortara.
And a great part of my family told me to abort.
Yo era muy niña
I was really young,
y pensaba obviamente en el aborto como un asesinato.
and I used to think of abortion as killing a person, as murder.
Y creo que fue más eso que cualquier otra cosa que me impidió tomar una mala decisión.
And I think it was that more than any other thing that kept me from making that decision of actually aborting.
Y después que él nació, vinieron muchos problemas sobre mi vida.
And after he was born, many problems came over my life.
Nunca en mi vida me arrepentí de haberlo tenido.
But I never regretted having him.
Se convirtió en el gran amor de mi familia.
He became the great love of my family.
Y cuando yo lo veo el día de hoy,
And when I see him today,
entonces yo siempre pienso,
I always think,
¿él nació por accidente o nació porque Dios lo puso en el vientre mío?
was he born by accident or was he born because God placed him in the womb, in my womb?
Yo me equivoqué mucho,
I made a lot of mistakes.
pero el aprender a vivir de una manera responsable
But learning to live in a responsible way
cambió el destino de alguien que Dios ya había escogido
changed the destiny of someone that God had already chosen.
y que muchas veces fue camino a la perdición por nuestras decisiones.
And that many times he had been in that pathway to perdition because of our own decisions.
Yo soy una persona pro vida. Yo pienso, yo creo en la vida.
So I am a pro-life person. I believe in life.
Y siempre pienso cuando escucho que alguien ha abortado,
And every time I hear that somebody has had an abortion,
¿a qué político? ¿A qué político?
I think about what politician,
¿A qué presidente?
what president,
¿A qué predicador
what preacher,
habrá abortado esa mujer?
or who, what preacher could have been aborted right there,
Solo por falta de conocimiento.
just because of lack of knowledge.
y de tener gente alrededor,
and of having people around you
que hayamos aprendido a mirar de una manera diferente
that would have learned to see in a different way,
y seamos esa sal
and that we could be that salt
y esa luz
and that light
que una persona necesita en un momento determinado.
that a person would need in a determined moment, in a specific moment.
Tenemos una gran responsabilidad.
We have a huge responsibility.
No fuimos por lo que tocó,
We are not based on chance or luck.
fuimos por el amor de aquel que nos creó
We are by the love of He who created us
y nos dio propósito
and gave us purpose
y nos dio sentido.
and gave us a reason to be.
No estás aquí sentado por casualidad.
You're not seated there just by chance.
El Señor no ha acabado contigo,
The Lord has not ended His work with you,
pero es tu responsabilidad.
but it is your responsibility.
El Señor te escogió,
The Lord chose you.
el Señor te llamó,
He called you.
naciste en su familia,
You were born in His family.
estás en un lugar donde te están enseñando.
You are at a place where you're being taught.
Me imagino que tienes una Biblia en tu casa,
I imagine that you have a Bible at your home.
la posibilidad de leerla,
The possibility of
la
reading it,
posibilidad de escuchar
of
música.
listening to music.
Tienes tantas cosas alrededor tuyo
You have so many tools and so many things around you
que te pueden ayudar
that can help you
a crecer dentro de lo que Dios tiene para ti
to grow within what God has for you
y lo que Dios ya te ha llamado a hacer.
and with what God has called you to do.
El balón está en tu cancha,
Your value is not,
el balón.
oh, the ball is at your side of the field.
Dios ya lo hizo todo por ti.
The Lord has already done it for you.
No puede morir dos veces en la cruz.
We cannot, he cannot die twice on the cross.
Él ya murió por ti
He already died for
para
you
darte vida,
to give you life,
esperanza
hope,
y para hacerte la vida y la esperanza de otros.
and to make you the life and the hope of other people.
Nunca se te olvide.
Never forget.
Eso me lo enseñó una persona
Somebody taught me this actually,
y nunca se me ha olvidado.
and I have never forgotten it.
Que nunca se nos olvide de donde Dios nos sacó.
That we would never forget where the Lord took us from.
Porque si tú nunca olvidas eso,
Because if you never think about it,
siempre serás la esperanza de otro.
if you never forget this, you will always be the hope of someone else.
Vamos a orar. Que
Let's
los veo,
pray.
no sé, muy pensativos, muy callados. No sé
I see
si
everyone thinking lots.
me
And,
ponen nerviosa a ustedes.
you make me nervous because you're thinking a lot.
Señor, te queremos dar gracias en esta mañana
Lord, we want to thank you for this morning,
por tu amor,
for your love,
por tu escogencia.
because you chose us.
Gracias porque no nos merecíamos tanto, Señor.
Thank you because we do not deserve so much.
Y a pesar de que sabías que nos íbamos a equivocar
And even though you knew that we were going to make mistakes
y que muchas veces lo íbamos a hacer mal
and that we would do it wrong many times,
y que no íbamos a ser dignos representantes tuyos,
and you even knew that we were not going to represent you well,
nos diste la oportunidad de nacer en tu familia.
you still gave us the opportunity to be born in your
Y
family.
estamos tan agradecidos por ello.
And we're so thankful for that.
Yo te pido, Señor, que la palabra que tú nos has dado el día de hoy
I ask you, Lord, that the word that you have given us today
penetre en el fondo de nuestros corazones,
would go really deep into our hearts
renueve nuestra manera de pensar,
and to renew our ways of thinking,
nuestra manera de actuar,
our ways of behaving,
que podamos entender que no fuimos por la suerte de lo que tocó,
that we would be able to understand that we are not what we had by chance or luck,
fuimos por el amor tuyo,
but that we are by your
por
love,
tu propósito.
by your purpose.
Nuestra vida
Our lives
debe dar testimonio de quién eres tú.
have to give testimony of who you are.
Ayúdanos a ser esas personas
Help us to be those people
que donde quiera que vayamos
that wherever we go
podamos ser sal,
would be salt
podamos ser luz.
and would be light.
Ayúdanos a ser gente
Help us to be
que pueda cambiar la mentalidad,
people that can change mentality
los pensamientos
and the thoughts
de aquellos que nos ven
of those who see us
como una plaga.
as a plague.
Los cristianos no somos una plaga.
We as Christians are not a plague.
Los cristianos somos llamados a
We are-
establecer,
We are called to establish,
a cambiar,
to change,
a restaurar,
to restore.
portadores de tu gloria.
We are holders and
De tu
hosters
paz.
of your glory and of
Danos
your
la
peace.
conciencia
Give us the conscience
del cambio que necesitamos.
of the change that we need.
Te damos gracias.
We thank you.
Te adoramos.
We love you. We
Te
worship you.
adoramos.
We worship you.
Te adoramos.
We worship you.
Nuevo amanecer.